Hi and welcome to this week's WoW Flash. In fact, the first WoW Flash of the year. Been a bit slow with the news over the last couple of weeks, but what we've got on the agenda today, three things. First of all, news that sort of came out towards the end of last week, really. Scrubbusters, although it had been known for some time, but they've announced now and come out with their statement that they are going Horde. I did a video on this really talking about faction balance. With it really goes the mainstay of Alliance top 10 guilds. How that's going to affect the rest of things, who knows? It might well be that another Alliance guild in a similar position is able to profit from that and find it a little bit easier to get recruits. Bearing in mind one of the reasons Scrubbusters left in the first place was difficulty in getting good quality recruits. Or it might have a trickle-down effect where the people who maybe got burnt out at Scrubbusters or weren't quite able to make the mark there joined one a little bit lower down, ones that were displaced there a bit lower down, trickle-down effect, which might have a negative impact on more Alliance guilds. Who knows? We'll have to just wait and see how that goes, particularly with Battle for Azeroth being a very faction v faction themed expansion. It will remain to be seen how, especially at the mythic raiding end, but even a little bit further down, this faction imbalance plays out. Now, in terms of more upcoming news, 7.3.5, which a lot of people are sort of thinking, oh, is going to be coming out quite soon. There's a few potential reasons for thinking it comes out soon, but bear in mind, thinking of it, until we start to get something on the downloader, it's not imminent. That's a patch doesn't suddenly appear. They give you a certain amount of time to download it. It'll be very clear when it is imminent, and that's not right now. So some people have been talking about the fact that with Wrath, Time Walking coming up, of course, one of the things that's going to come with that patch is Ulduar. That doesn't mean anything because when the patch that brought Time Walking Black Temple came out, it was many months before there was another TBC Time Walking, so that doesn't matter. You know, the patch will come out when it comes out, and the following Wrath of the Lich King Time Walking will be where we get to do Time Walking Ulduar first. Some people have also pointed out that Call of the Scarab is out later this month, again tying to Silithus. But that's because with 7.3.5 there's a Silithus-based scenario coming, which is really intended for BFA, but we're going to get to try it out during Legion. And Silithus very much tied to Call of the Scarab, of course. But the two events don't really have anything to do with each other, so that doesn't necessarily matter either. The main thing that I would be thinking of is until 7.3.5 comes out, they're not going to be talking about the next patch, what is presumably 7.4, because regardless of what content's to come, and we know there's no more raid tiers to come, but there has to be content to come, because that's something they've been very tight-lipped about what content is coming out in 2018, our old Blizzard. So I'm guessing the timescale is going to be 7.3.5 comes out, and then, as has been typical through Legion so far, they'll do a Q&A to talk about 7.3.5, but also what's coming up next. And then a couple of weeks later, we'll have 7.4 on the PTR as well, with a small amount of stuff. And we'll find out more that's coming then. At least where the storyline is taking us, because at the moment, most of us have probably killed Argus on some mode or other. So the storyline has sort of come to a pause. What's going to be taking place immediately after that? Where does the storyline take us then between now and BFA? That's for the next patch, and we need to find that out as well. So that's the only thing that's making me think it could be a bit sooner rather than later, because Blizzard have always said, or Ian Hazakostas has said, that a tier should last round about 4 to 5 months. That would suggest that Antorus has an expected shelf life of maybe up to a bit after Easter, April-ish, something like that, by which time we might be expecting 7.4 to be coming out. Well, for that to happen, we want to be getting 7.4 on the PTR quite soon. That's my thinking anyway. But as I say, until something comes on the downloader, who knows? It's all just speculation. But when it does land, really great piece of recent news. I have been going on for some time about how ever since people who have been playing Legion since the start have had basically all their legendaries, or at least all the legendaries they need for their main spec, it really shouldn't be taking as long for new players and re-rollers to be building up their legendary haul. And I'd suggested in the past things like maybe a Mythic Plus cache You know, you do a Mythic Plus a week, you get a cash the next week, should reward a guaranteed legendary. So you're at least getting one a week as long as you're doing that Mythic Plus of whatever level. So what Blizzard have done, it's belated in my opinion, but it's a really good idea, is your essences, your Awakening essences, are going to be used to buy legendary tokens, or you can use them to buy that. Now, you look at it at the moment, it looks like it's 175 essences. So then you're looking at it and thinking, blimey, that's quite a lot. Unless you do quite a lot of content, you're talking one legendary every 2 or 3 weeks. That's not brilliant. But the way it's going to work, 7.3.5, is we're going to get a lot more of these Awakening essences from the content that we do. In addition, you'll also be able to get some from the first Battleground win of the day if you are into doing Battlegrounds. But the items will cost more. The tokens that we're using to upgrade will cost more. The reason they're doing this is they don't want us stockpiling a load now so that when the patch goes live, those newer players and re-rollers will just suddenly be able to belt out a load of new legendaries. Little bit petty in my view. I wouldn't really have an issue with that. But Blizzard have an issue with it. They don't want us just suddenly getting loads of them on that day. So they still want to retain some element of time gating with this content that lots of other people have finished anyway. So there we go. If you purchase a token and you've already got all the legendaries for your class, you'll get the random token which you can send to an alt if you have an alt of that class. When I read the first reading I had of it, I thought, oh, it'd be one that you can target to a particular class. But no, as someone pointed out to me, no, it's not that either. So that's a little bit annoying. That's a bit disappointing, I have to say. But the fact that you'll be able to do something tangible and you'll know where you are to your next legendary. Because the problem with the bad luck protection, sure, okay, it builds up over time. But this is something that's tangible. You know exactly where you are without any fudges or fiddles or anything like that. You can see how many Awakened essences you've got. You'll know how many you need, 175. You'll see when you're going to be able to get your next one. In addition to the random ones you'll still be able to get in the normal way. Finally, the achievements have been updated on the PTR for the allied races. Now, sort of look, because this is on the 7.3.5 PTR, like, oh, maybe we get to play the 4 allied races for which there are unlock requirements in 7.3.5. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case at all, actually, because in order to be able to access the allied races, on the realm you do it, you'll already need a level 110. Okay, well, that's straightforward. But you'll also need to have purchased Battle for Azeroth. So until the Battle for Azeroth pre-order becomes available, and of course the beta isn't even out yet, you won't be able to access the allied races. But when you do, these are the achievements that you will need to obtain, which you can be working on now because this is an account-wide thing. You can do this on any character. Doesn't even matter what faction. So for Horde, you've got the High Mountain Tauren and the Nightborn coming out first of all. So you need the respective reputations at Exalted. So for High Mountain Tauren, obviously High Mountain Tribe, you need to have completed the basic storyline quests in High Mountain as well to get the Ain't No Mountain High Enough achievement. If you've got that, you'll be able to access the High Mountain Tauren. The Nightborn requirements is the Insurrection achievement, again with Exalted with Nightfallen. The Alliance ones are very much Argus based. So for the Lightforged Draenei, you need the You Are Now Prepared achievement along with Army of the Light Exalted. And for the Void Elves, it's the same achievement, so 2 for the price of 1. You Are Now Prepared, but this time Argusian Reach Exalted. So people who've been playing the game for a while now, it's very likely you've already got those achievements. But if you've got a particular hankering for them, make sure you've got those achievements completed before the pre-orders come out, which is the point at which when you've, well, if you get the pre-order early, you don't necessarily want to do that. But if you do, that's presumably the point at which we'll be able to get these allied races. And that's the news for this week. Don't forget to check out my streaming schedule if you want to watch me stream. That's over on twitch.tv/TheGaming. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like. Comments down below. Subscribe if it's the first time to your channel. Not to your channel, to my channel. And until next time, I'll see you later.